Welcome to our first and new episode of The Fall Before the Blade, Marie Antoinette and the Machinery of Revolutionary Vengeance. Let's begin our new episode. History tells us Marie Antoinette died beneath the guillotine, but what it rarely tells, what it often softens or skips entirely, is the slow, crushing unraveling that came before that final moment. Her execution was only the last chapter. The true horror was how the revolution broke her, long before the blade ever touched her neck. The streets of Paris in 1793 were not merely tense, they pulsed with a kind of feverish energy, a belief that the old world had to be destroyed before a new one could be born. Marie Antoinette, once the glittering jewel of Versailles, now found herself trapped in the center of a storm more powerful than any monarch. For the revolutionaries, she was not a person, she was a symbol, an embodiment of everything they wanted to erase. But symbols cannot defend themselves, and symbols, once hated, are easy to crush. The last days of a fallen queen. When Marie Antoinette was transferred from the Temple prison to the Conciergerie on August 2, 1793, it was more than a relocation. The Conciergerie was known as the antechamber of death, the final stop before the guillotine. Prisoners rarely returned from it alive. Marie Antoinette understood the message clearly. She had entered the final chapter of her life. But the revolutionaries had no intention of making those last weeks simple. Inside the Conciergerie, the once queen was placed in a cramped stone cell with a straw mattress, a wooden stool, and a single window covered with iron bars. Dampness crept constantly through the walls. The smell of mildew and sewage from the Seine drifted through the cracks. She slept poorly, ate almost nothing, and was watched at all hours, literally. 2 guards were stationed inside her cell, day and night, a level of surveillance reserved for the most dangerous enemies of the Republic. But Marie Antoinette had no weapons, no allies, and no realistic path of escape. She practiced no political influence from this cold room, and yet, to her captors, she was still the most dangerous woman in France. Why? Because she represented a world they had sworn to destroy. Her hair, once a symbol of royal extravagance, had turned white from stress within months. Her skin grew pale, her posture collapsed. Still, every night she rose from her mattress, paced the length of her cell, and whispered prayers for the safety of her surviving children. But even this small comfort would soon be stolen from her. The destruction of a mother. Marie Antoinette's greatest emotional torment came not from hunger or humiliation, but from the loss of her children. Her 8-year-old son, the Dauphin Louis Charles, had been separated from her months earlier and placed under the education of a cobbler appointed by the revolutionary government. The goal was not to teach the boy, it was to erase him, to destroy his identity, and reshape him into a symbol of the Republic's triumph over monarchy. Marie Antoinette begged the guards daily for news. None came. Then, in the Conciergerie, she learned what had become of him. The cobbler, under orders, had pressured the terrified child to accuse his mother of monstrous crimes, charges Marie Antoinette would later be forced to answer in court. The testimonies were fabricated, but they served their purpose. They shattered the queen's heart. The guards watched silently as she collapsed to the floor upon hearing the news, her hands shaking violently, her breath
choking her words. For a moment, she wasn't a queen, nor a prisoner. She was simply a mother whose child had been taken and manipulated beyond recognition. France had executed her husband. Now it was breaking her child. And in doing so, it was breaking her. From queen to enemy of the state. The Revolutionary Tribunal planned her trial with one goal in mind: condemnation, not justice. She was given almost no time to prepare a defense. She was denied proper legal counsel, and she faced accusations so distorted they bordered on the absurd: treason, financial corruption, anti-revolutionary conspiracy, and the fabricated charge involving her son, the one meant not only to convict her, but to destroy her image forever. But before the trial even began, the psychological pressure intensified. She was frequently awakened at night by guards slamming doors or shouting threats. Her meals were deliberately reduced or delayed. Her letters, those she wrote and those sent to her, were intercepted and often destroyed. Any attempt at maintaining dignity was ridiculed. One guard, moved by pity, once offered her extra water during the fever. The next day, he was demoted and reassigned. Sympathy toward the former queen was considered treason. Even her clothing became a source of humiliation. Allowed only the simplest garments, she was denied proper undergarments and forced to request cloth for bandages when illness overtook her. She had once been the most lavishly dressed woman in Europe. Now she had to beg for a clean shirt. And when she tried to rest, the guards whispered behind her, mocking her former titles, recounting rumors of court scandals, and reminding her constantly of the guillotine. Marie Antoinette endured it all silently, but silence too was used against her. The trial that was never meant to be fair. When the trial began on October 14, 1793, Paris was ready to watch the destruction of its most hated figure. Crowds camped outside the tribunal. Newspapers printed venomous caricatures of her. Street orators shouted that her death would purify the nation. The courtroom itself was stifling, packed with spectators hungry for a verdict they believed was already decided. Marie Antoinette entered wearing a plain white gown. No jewelry, no adornment, no crown. Her once famous royal bearing had faded, yet in exhaustion and grief, her posture remained calm. She sat with hands folded, listening to a torrent of accusations delivered with theatrical fury by the prosecutors. When she was accused of conspiring to send money to Austria, she responded quietly. When accused of undermining the revolution, she stated her innocence. When accused of intelligence with foreign powers, she grew resolute. But it was the charge involving her son that broke the illusion of calm. The prosecutor read the testimony aloud. The courtroom buzzed in anticipation. Marie Antoinette did not defend herself. Instead, she rose slowly, turned toward the mothers in the courtroom, and whispered, "I appeal to all mothers." The room fell silent. For the first time, the people of Paris saw not a queen, not a foreigner, not a symbol, but a woman whose heart had been shattered by circumstances beyond her control. Her words did not save her, but they changed the mood of the trial, if only for a moment. The verdict written before the trial began. After 2 days of testimony, interruptions, and emotional confrontations, the Revolutionary Tribunal withdrew to deliberate. They returned in less than an hour. It was the shortest deliberation of any major trial during the Revolution. The verdict was inevitable. Marie Antoinette was sentenced to death. But the horror of her story did not end there. Her execution was set for the next morning, leaving her no time to process her fate, no time to write final letters, and no chance to see her daughter. She returned to her cold cell in the conciergerie, where the final and most brutal chapter was about to begin. What happened in the last 14 hours of Marie Antoinette's life, from the moment she heard her sentence to the moment she stepped onto the execution cart, was more shocking than the guillotine. Dear viewers, thank you all for watching AS first episode.
The second episode will be uploaded very soon. Please stay tuned, like, comment, share, and hit the subscribe button to encourage us.